welcome to another episode of GTV How To. I'm Goffstown Television Coordinator Adam McCune, and on this episode of GTV How To, we're going to be talking about YouTube. It's something near and dear to every video geek's heart. It's the way we share videos on the web for the most part. It's the most popular video website by far out of all of them on the internet. Everybody from your kids to your grandmother has probably used YouTube in some form. So how do you use it and how do you upload to it? Aside from smartphones and tablets and stuff like that, that generally have that kind of built right in where you can upload to YouTube, we're going to talk about how you can specifically upload a video from your computer onto YouTube. And we're generally talking about shows that people produce here. We have producers come in, they make a show in the studio where I'm sitting right now. By the way, you can book time in the studio if you're a Goffstown resident and record anything you want to talk about. So they'll come into the studio, they'll record their show, it'll air on channel 16, and then what? It's a wonderful resource, and you get to share your views with people right here in town. That's what makes it Goffstown TV. But what if you want to take it outside of that? Or maybe even just share that video to people in Goffstown who aren't on Comcast. That's totally fine. Let's do that. Let's use YouTube. So we can actually take files and deliver those to people in a format that's acceptable for YouTube, but we're going to show you how you can do that yourself. If you have any video, we could be talking about home movies that you want to share, or if you're just starting to get into video editing, you export the movie and then you upload it to YouTube. So we're going to take you from creating an account all the way up to actually going in and uploading that video. So when you go to YouTube and you say you want to sign up, this is what you're brought to. You're brought to creating a Google account. Google wants you to use their one account for all of their things. There's the Google login, Gmail, Chrome, YouTube, Google Maps, Google Play if you have an Android device, and Google Plus, which is Google's answer to Facebook that nobody pretty much uses for social media. You don't have to have a Google account. You can use another email address. In fact, you can see right on here it says I prefer to use my current email address. But really, Gmail is a free account. It doesn't hurt much. It's just going to cause you to create a Google Plus account. That's kind of an annoying side effect. In fact, it's one of those things that's pretty recent. So if you sign up for a YouTube account, you have to have Google Plus. And it's just, again, Google's way of trying to get you to sign up for it because they like the power in numbers type of idea. You'll get a two-step verification, so you'll want to connect it to another email account. This is so you can go back and log into it if you forget your password. They may also ask you to put in a code from your mobile phone, so it'll send you a text. You'll put in that code. This is security. This is actually a really good thing. It's just so that they know you're not a robot and they know that you're a real person and that you're making a YouTube account because you want to upload your video. So you'll go in and you'll do that, and that's how that works. We're not going to do that part here. We're going to skip ahead and show you what it looks like on our YouTube account. So we're actually at the YouTube upload screen. So it'll bring you into this. You can actually capture right from your webcam. So if you wanted to, there's a little web camera on this laptop. I could record right into it. There's a video editor in YouTube, which not a lot of people use, but it actually works out pretty well. You can also stream straight from your laptop to Google Plus Hangouts, which is one of the positive things of Google Plus. But that's not what we're here to do. We have a file all ready to go. We want to upload it to YouTube. You click the big red button, and then it will ask you to choose the file. And what we're going to be asking for is this Grizzlies Sports intro that we have already created. And it's grizzlysportsintro.mov. It's 7 seconds long. The reason I chose this is it's very, very quick. And you can see this little blue bar is going extremely fast. We're using a web browser to upload. That's how YouTube works. And upload speeds are about 1/10 what download speeds are. So it's going to take a lot longer to upload video than maybe you're prepared for. In fact, we had candidates night just the other night here, and it was about a 2-hour video. We prepared the file for YouTube and uploaded it. When I started the upload and let it go for a little bit, it said it was going to take 700 minutes. That's over 10 hours, about 12 hours just to upload the video. It didn't take quite that long, but between that and processing, it was about 6 to 8 hours. So and we have an extremely fast internet connection here, so it does take a lot longer to upload it than it is just to even watch it. But that's a lot of factors going into that. So right now we're at 84%. There's some other fields in here you should be concerned with. It will go automatically by default. It will just put in your file name for the description, for the title I should say. So if you wanted to change that into something else, let's say Grizzlies Rock, we'll put that on there with an exclamation point. We can also do a short description here about the video. This is our sports intro video for GTV. And these tags are important if you want your video to be found. Let's say you want somebody who's searching for Goffstown High School, and it actually pops up with that suggestion. It's now tagged that. So somebody goes on and searches YouTube for Goffstown High School. This is going to pop up as one of those selections. And you got your privacy settings that are over here. You have three choices. There's public, which is anybody and everybody can see it and share it. There's unlisted, which is if you have that link, you can always watch it. And then if there's private, which is only you can see it, really. And you can actually invite people to watch it as well if it's private. Though not a lot of people do that. I think they just kind of put it up there. We'll use that and keep videos on there so we can release them at a time that's more convenient for us. Because it takes so long to upload. We generally put private on our settings, and then when we're ready to release it, we release it to the public. Then your subscribers get to see it. Unlisted videos also go to subscribers, and those are people who have decided that they like your videos and they want to get a copy of each of them. Not a copy really, but a link to each of the videos that you upload automatically. It's a great way to just kind of have it pushed to you. There's also categories. There's lots of different categories. It goes to news and politics by default on ours, and I'm not sure if that's the YouTube default or just ours. There's everything from autos and vehicles, comedy, sports, travel and events. Again, pick something that's generally what you're looking for. It doesn't have to be spot on, but close, because you want people to find this video. And then you save changes. The other thing that comes up here is this custom thumbnail. You can go on Google and find out all about the different dimensions for a custom thumbnail and how you want those to look. In fact, we have an example of one. We have this preview of one right here. This is from one of our most popular videos, the giant pumpkin drop. This is just for the thumbnail, so when we share it on Facebook or anywhere else, this is the picture that gets shown. So for example, if we go on our Facebook page here, you can see actually the candidates night on YouTube. There's the thumbnail right in there, and that's what we're talking about. We create a graphic for each of these so that when it's shared, it kind of promotes what it is. It has our logo in it, and you may want to do something similar to that. It's really a great way to kind of dress up the videos. Otherwise, if you look at, this may be a kind of a poor example, it will choose one of them. It'll give you three options from the video itself, and maybe those work or maybe those don't. Maybe you don't want that to be the part that promotes the video. Now after you've uploaded it, it may actually take a little bit more time for YouTube to process the video file. And this is where we get into kind of the weird nitty-gritty stuff about YouTube and about video editing, is different formats. This gets so confusing. Trust me, nobody really understands all of this. There's different codecs that they have for video files. So you'd notice them as like MOV or MP4, and they get more specific. There's even different codecs within those designations that do different things. And it gets absolutely crazy. It's almost ridiculous how many different codecs there are out there. There's a file on YouTube, in fact, that shows you supported YouTube file formats. And even this is a little bit misleading. It only shows, what is this, 8 different formats here. And that isn't even necessarily true. What's not included on this list is, for instance, MP2. We could upload an MP2 file and it will play on YouTube. It's just that those files are big. That's what we use for our broadcast standard files that we push out on the channel. They're all MP2. MP4 is, MPEG-4, is a little bit smaller of a file size, and like H.264 is what it's called. And That's generally the best one for YouTube because it's smaller in size. It can still be HD if you want it to be, and it looks pretty good. So that's generally one of the best ones. And when you produce a show here, if you ask for a YouTube copy, that's what you're going to get because it spits it out for us automatically, or just about automatically. Most video editing software will have some sort of preset for YouTube for export because it's so widely accepted. So this is a good rule of thumb, but I think the best rule of thumb here, instead of just what it says on YouTube, is if you can play it on your computer, you can probably upload it to YouTube. Because what happens is it actually goes in, and we kind of missed a little bit of that, but after it uploads, it actually processes it. So when you click on this link, it's already processed this one, so it can actually use it as a file and send it out through its servers in the proper format. So it really doesn't matter too much unless you're getting into such a huge file. Like for instance, again, going back to the candidates night. So we created a separate file just for YouTube. Because that file would have been so big, it would have taken 3 times as long just to upload the file. And then we have to worry about going in and having it encode it on YouTube's end. It would take forever. In fact, when I first started here, we did a test to see if we could change our on-demand provider for government meetings to YouTube. I took a 4-hour selectmen's meeting and uploaded it as it was, just to see what would happen here. So I uploaded it, and it took 16 hours for it to upload, and then it took, I believe it was another 16 to 18 for it to process. And that was such a slow process and slow movement there. We didn't want to have anything to do with that. So it's one of the reasons we decided to not go with YouTube, because it uploads through the web and it just wasn't good enough for what we wanted for long format videos. Now, of course, you can go in there and you can change the title, you can change the description, you can change the thumbnail, which I recommend, and then it's on YouTube. So if we go into here and we go to our video manager, it'll show it right here in the top. It says Grizzlies Rock. We also have this one. This was actually me playing around. Now, this is a good example. If we made a mistake, this wasn't a file that we couldn't upload. We were doing this earlier just to see what it would do. YouTube won't tell you it's a bad file or a wrong file when you upload it until after you've uploaded it and it tries to convert it. And then it gives you this warning. So it says, failed, unable to convert video file. And it's because it wasn't a video file. It actually was something else. So we'll go and delete it. Are you sure? Yes. Poof, now it's gone. So we'll be in here now and we can go back. If we click edit, it brings us back to that screen that we were just at, except in a little bit different format. It shows us all the stats for it, the views, the likes. If we wanted to upload a custom thumbnail, this is the time to do that. And also the YouTube link. So if I go here, copy this, I could post that to Facebook now, and it's sharing that video. You can also go back and change all of these, the title, the description, the tags, the privacy settings. You can actually, if you have subscribers, you can post a message to your subscribers and it'll push it out to them. We don't really do that here for our purposes. What else is great about this video manager is where it really starts to shine on YouTube, and why it's important for the types of things that we wanted is when you get down into the stats. So along the side here, it shows you all sorts of stats, view counts, likes. All comments are disabled on social media in the town of Goffstown per the Board of Selectmen in their policy. So we actually don't allow any comments on our videos. So that part isn't important to us. But again, one of our most important, popular videos here on YouTube, we'll go see this for an example. 700-pound pumpkin drop from 70 feet up into 15-foot swimming pool. So if I go over here to the view count, it's going to bring up our analytics. And if you want to geek out, I could look at these for hours because they're fascinating to me. You want to geek out on this when you have a YouTube account, go for it. Let's go look at the lifetime stats for this. And we've had 564 views, an estimated 1,200 minutes watched of this video. And you can go even further into this. You can go break down into demographics. Says there's not enough for the selected report. I'm not sure if that's really true or not. Playback locations, so it can show you how people are watching it. If they're watching it on Facebook, if they're watching it straight on YouTube. Traffic sources, so is it a mobile browser? You can see external websites have caught on to this one. 22% of them, of our views are from that. And devices, looks like it's popular on mobile phones and tablets. This one's probably the most fascinating to me. It's audience retention. So we got this on lifetime and relative audience retention. It's just a good rule of thumb. This little line up here shows you about where people are dropping off on the video. So if you want to have, say you want to critique, without ever asking anybody a critique of your video, where people drop off on this line, right here is where people get sick of it. So let's see what's there. On this video, it's right after the pumpkin hits. So people stop watching. They saw the pumpkin hit, and by here, most of them are gone. They don't want to see it again. Sometimes if you do this absolute one, it actually goes up above 100%. So you got to ask yourself, like, how does a video get more than 100% of the audience watching it? It's because people back it up and watch that part again. And it'll actually, you'll see it rise sometimes in the middle of a video. And it's because somebody has backed it up, or many people have, backed it up and watched a certain part again. So these numbers, if you have a YouTube video and a YouTube account, you want to really see what people are watching on your videos, the analytics on this are amazing. So it'll show you everything you really want to know about those videos. The other things about setting up an account, if you go onto your channel, there's a few things that are just kind of housekeeping things on YouTube. You can set this up, this right here, if you wanted to put a channel icon, we do. There's also channel artwork that kind of goes in the background. And there's a lot of guides online about how that artwork should be set up. There's also this subscribe trailer and an unsubscribe trailer. So if somebody decides to subscribe to you, hasn't subscribed to you yet, you can set this up to autoplay. So when they visit your channel, it will play. So it's kind of a way to say, why don't you put a video here that says, hey, welcome to my channel, why don't you subscribe? We just actually have, as the case would be, the Grizzlies intro for ours, just because we use that. We're kind of proud of it, so we use it a lot. You can also set up playlists, which are extremely valuable. In fact, we have a GTV how-to playlist. So you could be watching this on YouTube, which would be kind of weird and ironic and rips the space-time continuum or something. We also put up the hockey games. We did the football games, some town events that we have in here, also some fun stuff that we've done, we've been able to do. But you can do this, you know, subjects that you like to talk about, put them into a playlist. So when you go to that playlist, like we click on Goffstown Hockey here, if we click on this first one, it's going to bring up this format that it actually shows a whole list of all the games. So you're kind of asking people to look at these other ones that you have that are similar. And when you go back into the analytics, it'll show you where those views came from, if your playlists are working. If they look at one and then they go to the next one, and you start getting more view counts. And it's pretty much what the entire web is based on, is view counts. Now, if you want to share your video with the world and it's outside of YouTube, you click on this little share link, you copy this, and you can go into Facebook and paste that link. And Facebook has it set up, for instance, where it brings in that thumbnail. You can also upload a different image if you really wish to do that. But it'll bring in the thumbnail by default, so when people see it, they see that thumbnail. So we generally use that here just because it looks a little bit nicer, and it's kind of a nice way to share it. So again, you create an account. You have a Google account. It doesn't have to be, you can use your email address, I guess, but it can be a Gmail account. And after that, you can then upload all of your videos to YouTube. It demystifies the whole thing. You want a small size, but you also want it to look good. So MP4 is the way YouTube likes it. So generally that's what we like to do too, and maybe that's what you should do. But if you can watch it on your computer, you can probably watch it on YouTube. Also, those tags are very important. You want to tag it onto different things that make sense for your video. Don't just go out there and we have a video there of the Goffstown Grizzlies intro. Well, we're not going to tag it New England Patriots. First, because it's going to get buried amongst all sorts of other Patriots videos that are on YouTube. Secondly, it really doesn't have anything to do with that. So you don't want to do that. You want to have it make sense. So that might be high school sports, Goffstown, New Hampshire, Goffstown High School, Goffstown Grizzlies, Goffstown football, those type of things. Those would make a lot of sense because that's what it's all about. And lastly, the analytics. That is probably the best part about YouTube, is just being able to go in there and look at what your audience is viewing and who your audience is. You can actually also look at what country they're from and all sorts of great things, break down the demographics, and really get to the meat and potatoes of who's using your YouTube and how they're using it. So I hope that answers any of your questions you have. If you are still a little bit mystified about what's going on with YouTube, give us a call. We are here Monday through Friday, pretty much the evening hours, and our studio hours are Tuesday through Thursday from 4 to 9 p.m. You can call us at 497-5707. We're located in the back of Goffstown High School. And you can also email me, adam.mccune@goffstownnh.gov. And if you have questions, you want to set up a studio shooting, and maybe you want to, I don't know, tape some sort of show that deals with anything that you think about, and you're a Goffstown resident, we are here for you. So once again, this has been How to Get Onto YouTube on GTV How To. I'm Adam McCune, and thanks for watching.